We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, stay with this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, please check out the feedback form down below. What's the market doing? It's giving you a gift. Really. Fear, greed is probably too high, meaning people are a little bit too optimistic. That's fine. Let this thing go down. It's probably discouraging a lot of people. I mean, we're a part of those, a lot of people. So that's not great. But the most important thing is to not get shaken out of this, because there are signs somewhere throughout the market that when this thing turns around and picks up, it's going to be dramatic. We'll go over some charts. We'll go over some important news. All right, let's welcome who's here. Alexandra first on the stream. Katya, James, Zepedas, good morning. Okay, Ian is here. Double Ace, Gian, good morning. AB, Miguel, Juzo, welcome. Banks, 911, hi. MY, welcome. Horace, Thomas, Leo, Energy, Shelly, what's up? Okay, news, let's go. All right, so fear, greed is maybe a confusing word. It's bullish sentiment, right? Bullish sentiment is now at 70%. Everyone's bulled up for the election. Okay, hence these washouts, right? They washed out alts. They bid it up on Sunday. They dropped it. This kind of volatility is a result of legacy volatility, right? So everyone's getting out of stocks. Everyone got out of bonds yesterday. Uncle Sugar has borrowed an irresponsible amount of money. For whatever reason, the dollar is going higher. Maybe people are afraid of something geopolitical. I think my attitude with legacy is who knows and who cares. I mean, that's really it, especially in front of a massive event, right? Let them jockey their positions. People selling crypto, particularly big quality cryptos in front of this. It's like latecomers getting washed out, right? Or people just buying into fear that's not necessary. Or again, people just got too bullish and they get washed out. That's all. Okay, I like this. This is you can't get access to the article, but crash obsessed traders may miss year-end rally. Everybody really in equities is obsessed with a crash. 48%. Households have 48% of their net worth tied up in crypto. I'm sorry, in equities. Some of that money logically would move over to crypto if crypto started performing and equities fell into a range. All right, a public service announcement, because you've seen this in Texas, and we had previously seen it in Georgia, is that voting machines now work where you push buttons electronically and it prints something out. And for whatever reason, we're seeing reports, whether they're sensationalized or not, about people voting for one party and the machine switching the printout to another party. So when you vote, and you should vote, make sure you double check whatever the machine is telling you. This is not really fresh information that, the dead are not only going to vote once, but twice. That's been true in every American election going back to the 1800s. That will no doubt continue. I don't think it's a reason to get hysterical. I think the reason that, people may get upset is, whoever loses the election, their voter base may not be happy and they may take to the streets. That's how I would look at it, right? But, I strongly suggest you vote. And I did see one thing. I don't know if it's on here, but it's interesting that if you don't vote, the system will cast a vote for you, for whoever the system wants to cast a vote for. So I suggest I suggest you vote. All right. So most Americans want, something done about illegal immigration. Again, why is this relevant for crypto? Well, all these people who are living in hotels in New York City, if they think that's over, they may react strongly. You may have a lot of weird stuff go on between November and January if, all these people who just got here aren't living in nice New York hotels anymore. All right. So on the geopolitical front, somebody apparently inside the American government felt strong enough about whatever's going on in the Middle East to leak very secret information, about Israel's next move. I don't think anybody wants any next move. I mean, I know the parties out there who are fighting do. They're fighting. I respect that. They're fighting. And, they're trying to defend themselves or assert themselves or whatever. However, in the United States, I don't think anybody wants this. They may get it anyway. This could be an element of fear in the crypto market. You got to watch out. I mean, if you wake up one day and oil comes in 10% higher, Bitcoin's going to be 10% lower or more, right? If you have a gap move up in oil, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to create problems. I'm just saying this is out there. And this is really interesting that the FBI thinks that, this information on the next move for Israel was like the most secret type of information available. That was the marking on it. Okay, why is the crypto market down today? So everyone is looking for a reason why it was down after everyone was trying to figure out why it was up. When it was going up, it was the quote unquote Trump trade. Now equity markets are coming off and the dollar is going up, undoubtedly because people are afraid. Most likely, they're afraid of the geopolitical event. Now, all right. So one other thing that we have to keep an eye on is that the debt issuance headed up into the election has been unbelievable. They did $400 billion in debt in 3 weeks. Okay. That's a lot. That's enough to bother the bond market. But it's also a sign that, let's face it, at some point, Bitcoin is going to benefit from this level of fiscal irresponsibility. Because, I know that Trump and Musk are touting the Department of Government Efficiency, right? Which means massive cuts in government spending, which, I think that's going to happen. But Trump is also talking about like reducing income tax for 90% of the population. So you can't assume that whatever they're going to do is going to be government spending friendly. You just can't for the moment. All right. So BlackRock continues to buy relentlessly, right? They just, every time it goes down, BlackRock, the Bitcoin ETF, they bought 330 million, right? And, they bought 4,000 Bitcoin while everybody is selling. Van Eck is doing staking rewards for a Solana stock trading product. Okay. Institutional ownership in US spot Bitcoin ETF reaches 20%. All right. Asset managers are reporting to hold, 193,000 Bitcoin. I mean, they're just piling in, waiting for the dollar event. Okay. Michael Saylor always manages to keep himself in the news. Okay. Okay. MicroStrategy CEO reveals his Bitcoin MicroStrategy planned. Okay. This guy is just going to continue to lever up the software company to buy Bitcoin. He's basically turning it into a Bitcoin hedge fund. I mean, what's he supposed to do? Rely on software sales? I mean, the bet is so big, you might as well make it bigger. And, you look throughout the history of financial markets, you look throughout the history of guys like Soros and Tudor Jones and Druckenmiller. I mean, when these guys would make bets, their bets would be just huge. Matter of fact, this DeMark work that I show you, that work was primarily designed to like not just find a bottom, but find the process of a bottom. In other words, like, I talk about the 13 as like the reversal point. Well, the purpose of that work was to have hedge funds who would like, say, want to get into a huge position in a small market. They would buy as that count was reaching a bottom or sell as that count was reaching a top. So what Michael Saylor is doing with a huge position really is as old as the hill. It's as old as the hill. Okay. Now, I don't know. Michael Saylor is blasting like the original Bitcoin people who wanted Bitcoin as kind of like this private, anarchist currency. Okay. Meaning like, I want to own Bitcoin because I hate the system. That's still okay. I think if you're going to go that route, you got to go a privacy coin, right? If you can figure out how to do it without getting in trouble. So Michael Saylor is more talking about Bitcoin as some type of, universal money rather than something that you own when the whole world kind of, goes up in flames like the original kind of cyberpunk anarchist Bitcoin people do. You know what? Again, Michael Saylor's ability to stay in the news. Like, on my channel, all I have to do is say Michael Saylor on a short or a video, and it takes off. It's almost like he's compensating Google, or there's so much interest in MicroStrategy. Either way, right? The guy's always keeping himself relevant. It's like, what is Michael Saylor going to do with his Bitcoin after he's gone? I don't know. He's going to give it back to civilization. It's like, when MicroStrategy is at $1 million or $13 million a coin, I'll give my Bitcoin to the world. Can we get to 80K first? Can we do that? Let's do that. Okay, so MicroStrategy and BlackRock are buying, and it looks like some Genesis block. Whoops. Okay. So that website didn't work out, but it looks like a government whale is selling, right? In other words, a Satoshi era wallet continues to sell. So you probably have an intelligence service selling to BlackRock and MicroStrategy in a confined space, right? And when that selling gets done, right, and there's no more Bitcoin to get hold of, when these guys come after even more Bitcoin, they're going to have to do it at the market. It's the only reason why Bitcoin is not higher. It's because the government has decided to hold it down in front of the election. And they can try to hold it down. And wouldn't it be really funny at the end of the month if they couldn't hold it anymore? Because remember, crypto has a very strong tendency of rallying before big events. So they want to sell this 2 days in a row. I mean, we went through this last week, right? They sold it, and then boom, all of a sudden on Sunday night, it was higher. And then they went, sold it over like a 2 or 3 day period. And then guess what's going to happen? It's going to rampage right back up again, particularly in all these undervalued altcoins. I mean, Solana, like Radium and all these DEXs, they're actually trading well. Rune is up today for cross-chain. There are signs that the market is rallying from the bottom up. Okay, so you can like him or you cannot like him, but the simple fact of the matter is, he wants to eliminate taxes for a lot of people in the U.S. And, basically with the amount of money that we're borrowing, there's no point in taxing people. I think there's no point in taxing any families that make 100K or less, because the government spends the tax receipts in like a day. It's all borrowed and printed money at this point. So why hurt the little people? It does make sense. And even if it doesn't make sense, obviously people are going to vote for this, right? It's like, the left is printing money and handing that out in the form of government jobs or whatever they're handing it out as. And this guy wants to hand it out in the form of, lower taxes for people who don't make a lot of money. Okay. Okay. So just as a reminder of how smart the media is, 13 years ago, The Economist called Bitcoin a bubble at $2.50, right? October 21st, 2011. Today, it's 67K. So Bitcoin was, I don't know, it was kind of like an altcoin, obviously, way back then. It went from a penny to 250, and they said it was over. Okay. The Economist is also famous for buying the top of the dollar. They bought the dollar index at 111, or maybe that was Bloomberg magazine. And I do remember in 2020 how they wrote an article and it said why it has to be Joe Biden. It doesn't matter whether you're on the right or the left, or you like Trump or you don't like Trump, but I think we can all agree that the Biden presidency didn't exactly turn out as the Economist thought it would. I think that's fair, right? Fade the media. Fade the media. Avalanche releasing a Visa card for crypto payments. Okay. Do you think everyone's just going to kind of sit around and let crypto develop and let BlackRock make announcements and have Solana eat everybody's lunch on DEXs and just not do anything? I don't think so. Okay. DEXs on the rise, right? Crypto.com, all of these centralized exchanges, they're going to have to do something to get the crypto heads off the DEXs. And I'm going to tell you what that is. They are going to rapid list altcoins. Like right now, you can go on Coinbase. Like an example is Aleph, right? Aleph rallied. It was up like 60, 70% over the weekend. That's a Coinbase alt. Coinbase and centralized exchanges are going to have to populate themselves with stuff that people would normally want on DEX, which is memes and any altcoins that are moving. You are going to have a lot of choices on centralized exchanges 3 to 6 months from now because they can't afford to get set. They can't afford to lose any more market share to DEXs. Okay. So Bitcoin analysis sees lower risk aversions. Okay. Hints that retail interest is slowly returning. So, of course, as Bitcoin goes up, retail gets more interested. Google searches, as we've reported, have gone to the basement for Google, for Bitcoin. Just imagine what retail will be doing at 80. Just imagine what equities retail will be doing when Bitcoin's at 100, right? In other words, they love in equities. They love to buy it when it's up. Like at 58K, retail wouldn't touch Bitcoin. But at 68 or 69K, it's much more attractive. And you have to apply that to all your altcoins, all your Coinbase altcoins. Even stuff like Sui on the downtick, right? At $2, everybody was making Sui videos on YouTube. Now it's at, it could go to like $1.80 and no one's talking about it. No one's interested. I'm interested. We'll go through that in the PowerPoint, right? It's like you got to get interested in stuff before the herd gets interested in stuff, period. That is the game before the election. All right. So, somebody in Argentina is reading an economics textbook, right? This guy from Argentina is just taking their government agencies and going, whoop, bye. Or their government agencies' policies and going, see it. Simplify the tax code, reduce government spending, get rid of regulation. I mean, Elon's going to come in and hopefully do the same thing. And frankly, that's the most bullish thing for crypto that you could think of is the Department of Government, right? Efficiency. Okay. Goatcoin. So we talked about this yesterday. When Goatcoin goes down, it goes down like 30, 40%, just like a Bitcoin correction. And then when they have their blowouts, they have like a 70% blowout from 50 cents to 15 cents. Again, these are like mini Bitcoin cycles. Like on the way up, you do 40% corrections, and then you have like a mini winter. You blow it out 70%, and you just keep right on going. No, I don't think the market can go anywhere as long as these things continue to go up. Okay. Department of Government Efficiency seems to have had its day. Okay. This is retracing like 30 to 35% before it goes up. $37 million market cap. I think the thing about meme coins that you have to remember, even though I personally think this is kind of cool, is that the stuff that boomers think is kind of cool doesn't go up. It doesn't. Right? It's like, oh, that's a cool meme coin. Well, if you have a meme coin that, oh, this is generated by AI and it's a goat and I don't really understand it, yeah, that's a $500 million. Like Giga Chad, Harry Potter. I think the thing about these things, particularly about goat, that's of interest, is that these things may wind up with centralized exchange listings sooner than you think. I mean, there's only 12 million in liquidity, $400 million market cap on this. It's a marvel of science. It's a marvel. Okay. All right. So we have Thomas, Leo, Energy, Shelly, Victor, Malik, SGSG. Okay. Moonwell, a base token. Let's look at it. I can't get enough of base tokens because, like anything base or Coinbase, right? Okay, let's go to like 89 minute. All right. So here's what you can see in this. And this is fairly typical. And this is what we've been dealing with, which is why patience is a virtue. So this coin rallies to like its premium zone, right? This is an 89-minute chart. And then it kind of gravitates back down to this prior high, which is also an equilibrium level. It seems like every time this thing goes up and it goes sideways, everyone kind of gives up. It's like, there's huge FOMO on the way in, right? Huge FOMO on this last leg up. So when you have huge FOMO, now you have everyone just kind of leaving. I think what you do with these things is you let them consolidate. You let these things go sideways and you don't get upset about it. Right? We have to wait to see which crypto assets are going to start taking out their premium zones. In the meantime, ranges, dips, sideways, 4%, 5%, 6% either way. I know that sucks because you have to look at it. I think you just let this market consolidate. Let it wind itself up because, all this Coinbase stuff, like when the normies start coming into both Coinbase and Base, I mean, let me see. Like I thought I saw virtual up a lot. I don't know if that's the same virtual. Yeah, man, look at this thing. This is this AI coin, right? Like AI gaming assets. Wow, hello. Right? $68 million market cap if we're talking about. Yeah, this is the thing. I've looked at this thing before. Look at this thing go, man. Let's get a daily chart up here. Like, this is what's going to happen with the rest of the market. You're going to see this like, they gave up. They did the bigger the base, the higher in the space. I think the whole base network is going to look just like this. The thing is, they're going to torture you and make you wait. Like I did a short video called "Don't Quit Crypto" or "Why Are People Quitting Crypto?" And some dude commented, "I quit." You know what I'm saying? And I'm not making fun of him. I totally get it. But for this group, there are signs in our universe that, this thing wants to go massively higher. Okay, so Bitcoin on DeMark, this prior high over here. Look at me pointing at my screen like you can see that. This high over here is like 68,600. Looks like they kind of want to run stops after they FOMO'd in up here. So let them. Let them, right? And take it from them if they want to drop the market off whatever is going on in legacy. Right? ETH has got a moving average as support at 2,600. A lot of people FOMO'd in. They're like, okay, let's go. You knew there was going to be some kind of a dip. They were going to retest this. They went back inside the range. Yuck. But let's just see if 2,600 holds in ETH. Lot of people selling, but that base universe is coming back. Everyone loves Sui at 235, and it doesn't look like anybody wants to touch it at $1.80. The DeMark work really is great here. You could have like half of today be negative, maybe, but starting to come into like $1.88, anything at like $1.90 or below, that feels juicy to me. And I said this, right? Like $1.94 was kind of like my point in Sui. So, they did an A, B, C. They kind of wash it out for you, right? Arrow, look at this. They unwound all of the final FOMO. They unwound essentially the whole month of October. How nice, right? Again, you may have penetration of $1.17, or it may just sit here for a little while, give you a nice 13 bottom, and then you can turn around and get after this thing again. I don't think there's a huge rush, but when they take it all the way up and they take it all the way back down again, I mean, again, this thing went from 40 cents to $1.45. So there's going to be a correction, but all we got to do is look for the bottom. And the closer we get to the election, the more exciting any type of DeMark or Lux Algo bottom signal could be. All right. Okay. Let's see who else is here. Okay. Cepeda says, we will not quit. Okay. Gian says, Pepe on base ripped this week. Wow. Let's look at that. I think, isn't that the blue frog? That's the blue frog, right? Pepe on base. I don't know how to find this signal. I don't know how to find this symbol for Pepe on base. Oh, maybe this is it. Is this it? Well, that's not it. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm going to end it off here. When you look, Bill, any advice for someone wanting to career shift from TradFi to crypto? Oh my God. Dill's shop. All right, bro. So let's talk about it. I went from Goldman, I had to take a step down to Charles Schwab. And then I was like, to hell with this. I'm going into crypto. Crypto is a decentralized industry. Like, who makes the most money in crypto? I think investors do. Now, my track was different. Like, I actually wanted to be in the industry doing research. Thing is, there's not a lot of research places to go to work for, right? In other words, the crypto industry, unless you have a rampaging bull market, in some ways doesn't exist. Now, okay, that's the bad news. Now, here's the good news. I think if you want to get in crypto, you got to know social media and social media marketing. People are always looking for anything from Discord moderators. I mean, I know MetaMask was looking for somebody to run their social media, right? You got to demonstrate social media marketing skills if you want to smoothly enter the crypto space. I think, and I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I have a YouTube channel and stuff like that. I think you have to sometimes start your own gig. You have to start your own deal, whatever that looks like. In other words, I went straight from TradFi into legacy, as straight from TradFi into crypto, because in TradFi, they really limit what you can do as a second job. Like you can drive Uber or 10 bar, maybe, but they don't let you have a second job, right? Acting as if they let you, right? Starting your own small gig, learning social media, investing, right? Is the way to go. And then I think, this requires money. If you have it, you got to go to the conferences. Like if you had a really fat job in TradFi, right? You'd be saving your money, man. You'd go to every conference. You'd meet every person. You'd listen to every talk. You'd go to every event. You'd start rubbing elbows and you'd start meeting people. I mean, I went to the Texas Bitcoin conference, this little hokey thing, which was, wildly exciting because that was on the way up in 2017. Right. But I have never gone to a crypto convention and been disappointed in terms of what I got out of it. So there may not be an immediate answer, right? The easiest thing to do is to just dive into this ecosystem. Tony Robbins has a saying, you're never judged or you won't be successful by what you do from 9 to 5. You're judged and you're successful on what you do from 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning. So, my final note is, if you want to go from TradFi to crypto, unless you're an investor and you got a ton of money that you're sitting on, but if you're like a normal person, be prepared for a lot of work and frankly, be prepared for some level of suffering because crypto is viciously cyclical, right? TradFi is propped up by the Fed. Okay. Crypto is not propped up by the Fed. I've lived through 2 winters and this brutal correction, right? And I don't have any hair left. So I think you should do it, but I think you should do it in the smartest way possible. Okay. All right. So let's see what I got coming in here. I do have Brett on base. I don't know if that's what somebody was asking their question about. Okay. I think somebody was asking about Pepe on base. Okay. But, we'll look at Brett just because I have it here. Yeah. I mean, look at the rounding bottom in this meme. Like this is the big one, maybe. I don't know. This says 1 million market cap. Okay. You can see that they have a basing process and a square range. So I'm going to end it here. Hopefully I answered that question about TradFi and crypto. It's probably, I got plenty to say about it because it's been quite a journey. We could do a podcast on just that. All right, people. Oh, wait. Someone's asking for fetch and whiff. Let me get that. Sorry. Okay. Okay, fetch, I'll give you the bottom line right now. I don't want to give up on this. I know this kind of sucks. This hasn't done anything. Right? And I'm okay with that because like the equilibrium balance level in fetch is $1.70. Right? And like I said, this is a huge amount of FOMO. And somewhere in here is some kind of head and shoulders bottom. And with an upward sloping neckline, just to keep it simple, if this ever took off, it would really go. So I don't want to give up on this. I don't. Okay, whiff. Just remember, whiff is essentially leveraged Solana. Same deal, right? Head and shoulders bottom. It's at a balance level. It's not breaking out. It's not breaking down. And if you had this, it would turn around and go up 80%. Again, I know everybody wants their meme coin to explode right this second, and I know that they're washing people out, and it's uncomfortable. Why don't we wait until the election? Because if this is leveraged Solana and all the Solana dexes have gotten perky, you don't want to puke out of this and wake up one day and have it be up 30%. Okay. Now that really is it for today. I will see you tomorrow.